Have a gentleman that I usually have leading off Major Laugh Mondays because he's such a lovable, squishy guy. He just gets everybody in the right mood. You'll see what I'm talking about. Put your hands together for the very funny Daniel Baltazar.
What's up, everyone? All right, a little weak, but I'll take it. Whew, man, I am so glad it's starting to cool down here in Bakersfield, let me tell you. It may not have been record level temperatures of hot over the past summer, but I still felt like I was burning in hell, let me tell you. But hey, like Howdy mentioned earlier in the night, it's October, so it's almost Halloween. So for me, that means I get to make edgy drawings and nobody can call me an edgelord. Yay! I don't draw as often as I used to, but around October, that's usually the time that I start making edgy drawings, like monsters and stuff that would genuinely get you called an edgelord. Now, don't take this as me looking for an excuse to be edgy, because, I mean, look at me. But after the passing of my dog earlier this month, can you really blame me for going edgy for even a week? Like, even if it meant I started saying stuff like, it's getting cold out, just like my soul after my dog died, and now I'm forced to wander the world like a stray dog. Or some other early 2000s emo teenager slam poetry session crap like that. Speaking of my dog dying, my dad has tried getting me to drink ever since I turned 21, and he thought that while I was still grieving the death of my dog, that was the perfect time to get me to try drinking. I already make bad money decisions, so adding booze to the mix is just a recipe for disaster. Now, he tried coaxing me into it, like, oh, it's a controlled environment, but you also gotta pour one out for him. I was like, nah, I'm just gonna pour the whole thing out. And he said, no, you're not, that was expensive. I get that, I do, but at the same time, this same guy has taught me all throughout my childhood not to give in to peer pressure, but now that I'm an adult, I'm supposed to give in to peer pressure. That's something I've noticed as I've gotten older. Like, you're told not to give in when you're a kid, but once you become an adult, that shit goes out the window. And you're supposed to give in to peer pressure stuff like sex, drugs, booze, even watching movies. And I'm not talking about porn. I'm talking about the kind that you go to like Studio Movie Grill right down the road to see. Speaking of which, I've noticed that there's been a lot of pressure to see like a bunch of movies made by people like Martin Scorsese, Christopher Nolan, James Cameron, by like neckbeards that push these guys as like the greatest thing since sliced bread. And if you don't like their movies, then you have a TikTok attention span. You don't have to have a TikTok attention span to say that hey, these movies, they're not for me. Because that's how it works with me. If you've tried pressuring me into watching something, I'm like, all right, you know what? Fuck this, I'm not watching this thing. Now, this is the part where I would have gone on a bit of a tangent about how I have this conspiracy that my dad is trying to get me out of the house so he can sell my Lego so I can't stop him. But after something that happened on Thursday, he may have a point in telling me that I may have to either work a fire job like him or do trade school. But here's the thing about trade school. Why would you have me do trade school where it's a 4 to 5 year program and I'm not making money during that period? Now, with the fire job, I get that because that's like money almost instantly. So I would rather do the fire job than have to do trade school. That doesn't make sense to me. Because yeah, I'm looking for work, probably like a few of the comics in here. So to make ends meet, I started up a bottle service where but not the kind where I deliver bottles. If anything, I take bottles. Like if you have a party, I'm gonna show up the following morning like, excuse me, my good sir, it appears that you had a party last night. If it is no trouble at all to you, I would like to take these bottles off your hands at no cost at all to you. Yeah, I've already got one person texting me because I put up flyers around my neighborhood. Let's see where that goes. Anyways, that's been my time. Have a good night, everybody. Enjoy the mic.
One more time for Daniel Baltazar. That's right. Now you guys know what I'm talking about. You know, I love this squishy little fucking guy, huh? That's our friend, brother. Love that guy.